extra time.
Hi, this is Norman Kochannek here for Extra Time. I'm at the Sydney Cricket Ground, the SCG. I'm in front of the Allen Davidson gates, which leads through to the statue of former Australian captain Steve Waugh. I'm here today because Australia and India have both had their training sessions, both on the field and in the nets, in reasonably clear conditions. In fact, there's a bit of cloud there now, but generally the skies have been extremely clear all day. That'll lead into tomorrow's training session, which will lead into the first day of the test, the third test, on the 7th of January here on the SCG. Of course, the COVID-19 restrictions have certainly come into place. We now have a quarter full stadium of some 10,000 people, which will certainly not be as big as a full stadium, but certainly quite amicable for the public. They'll be able to come and see the games throughout the days of the test. I'm here to talk to you about the Indian team and several movements within the Indian team, and specifically Rohit Sharma. Now, of course, he's the vice captain, which makes him a 200% certainty of playing in the third test. That means there'll have to be a shift to the batting order to accommodate the likes of Rohit Sharma. Now, Rohit Sharma, people have forgotten it's been more than a year since Sharma last played Test cricket, with injuries ruling him out of both the India's tour of New Zealand earlier this last year, in fact, and the first two tests of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. The series here in this series commenced recently. Given the time that's elapsed since then, you may be forgiven if in fact you forgot that he actually had several incredibly good last scores or last season scores in whites, when he opened for the first time and rattled off scores of 176, 127, 14, 212, of course 6 and a 21 in a home series against South Africa and Bangladesh. Now that's pretty damn impressive. As an opener, warrants selection. Those numbers certainly warrant selection in an immediate return, and Sharma's promotion to Test vice captaincy suggests he will do just that. But where will he bat? Well, obviously I've mentioned to you about his opening the innings and scoring very well. Mayank Agarwal is likely to actually miss out, which is very unfortunate because I don't think he's batted that badly. That'll see, obviously, Rohit Sharma bat with Shubman Gill, Pujara at first drop, Rahane at second. Then you'll move into the likes of Vihari, who in fact really has played particularly well. Not quite getting the big runs that he wanted to do, but he's batting particularly well. So I would argue that will be the batting order, the main top order. That is Sharma, Gill, Pujara, Rahane and Vihari. Coming in at 6 would be Rishabh Pant, followed by 7 Jadeja, 8 Ashwin, and then the bowlers. Now the bowlers obviously made up definitely of Bumrah and Siraj will make up 9 and 10. That's the 11th position in the team. That's up for question, obviously, with Umesh Yadav being injured and gone back home. Also, KL Rahul also gone home. Well, he's injured as well. That'll see the likelihood of a new bowler into the Test team between Shardul Thakur, obviously Natarajan is also a very strong chance, and Navdeep Saini. So out of those three, we'll see one of them selected for the Test match here on the 7th of January. That actually leaves quite a strong bowling lineup, nevertheless. Bumrah and Siraj, obviously with Jadeja and Ashwin as the main four, and I would argue Navdeep Saini's in with a pretty good chance of playing. Obviously Shardul Thakur has been also being talked about in the press, and Natarajan's also there with his left arm bowling. I can't see that being an issue. I think that the team will be particularly strong. We've also got to remember that Sharma has yet to open in any way test, and that would obviously be Australia, and hasn't had as much match practice as the others, although he certainly has been in the nets quite a bit today. So there could be a case for India to ease him back into the action rather than throw him into a new ball batting straight away with against the likes of Stark, Cummins and Hazlewood. But I actually think the opposite. I actually think that he will be opening, and by way of being vice captain, will take the charge early, with Rahane coming in the second drop as captain. It'll be a great combination for them to be both very close to the top of the order, and Pujara at first drop. Gill's in amazing form as well, so it's very, very strong top four. We mustn't forget back to Vihari for a moment here. His defensive technique and ability to absorb pressure could come in handy at the top of the order as well, but I think he'll stay after Rahane. That's my thoughts. it's very unlikely that we'll actually see Sharma in the middle, although he has batted at number 6 and scored an unbeaten 63 in that position. So Sharma could either open or go 6, but I think he'll open. I think that's the smartest thing they could do in terms of the situation itself. To actually talk in terms of Mayank Agarwal being dropped is probably not a relevant way of looking at it. He's equally as important to the overall squad and has been in for the 2 tests and done very admirably. Rohit Sharma's back for the 3rd. Who knows what the makeup will be for the 4th, but I think it's a particularly strong side. Looking forward to seeing that ending batting line with Rohit Sharma up front. Many people have been talking about his runs that he'll score. He could well have anywhere upwards of a century. But again, Saini, Shardul, and obviously Jana are the ones that are vying for one position. Haven't had much of an opportunity today to bowl in the nets, but I'm sure they'll be vying tomorrow for their position in the team. Again, this is Norman Kochannek from Extra Time. Please view, like and share the posts, and don't forget to subscribe and provide comments and feedback at wish.
Hit the subscribe option and the bell icon to get all the exclusive sports videos on Extra Time.